Hi there, welcome to another Tarot News at 8. It's Friday the 13th, woo, for anyone that's superstitious out there. It's Friday to Monday, we're back, current news, entertainment. First reading I'm going to look at Trump and the war. You know, it's just dominating the news, isn't it? So, need to look at it. Disclaimer, we're hypothesising, so please don't take it literally. I've asked for love and light while shuffling the pack. A few questions to ask, you know, is the war nearly won? Trump's saying it is. Are Maga still behind him? You know, as everything keeps getting worse financially. Trump called Iran deranged scumbags. Is this justified? You know, he called the leaders deranged scumbags. Is Trump right to use social media the way he does? You know, is it transparency or saturation? Is the new Supreme Leader dead? I think he might be. Is the special relationship over? The UK and US following Starmer's inaction. Is the war a distraction from the Epstein files? Like I said, I will be doing readings on the Epstein files. Just not yet. And then what's next? You know, how much longer can it go on? You know, and is it affecting Trump's support? So let's have a look, see what happens. So first, you know, is the war nearly won? No. So this is the Devil card. Let me zoom in so you can see it. Yep, so this is the Devil card. Let's move that a bit. So no, this is not the card of peace, is it? This is the card of power, lust, all the good stuff. So it's saying definitely not over, nowhere near over. Now he said the Navy and the Air Force has gone, you know, he said that. Well, when you see the Devil card, it's definitely not saying peace is around the corner. He's saying it's nearly won. If that's the case, you know, what about the all and all? There's so many problems at the moment. You know, it's not suggesting that the war is won, is it? So I would say we're still in the thick of it. Now, he said something extraordinary last night. He said, wait for today. So today, Friday the 13th, he said, watch what happens today to the deranged scumbags. So I'm just wondering, you know, what's he got planned for them? But yeah, when you see the Devil card, it's certainly not saying that the war's over. You know, we are still in the thick of it. That, you know, it represents the god of thunder, you know, renowned for hot temper, rages, power, lightning. So yeah, we're not out of this war yet. And while Trump is given the idea that, you know, the Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone, well, the war only ends when the weapons run out. And they're going to turn to other forms of harm, aren't they? Probably lone bombers, stabbings. I mean, I think this war is not done yet. And it means either party is normally trapped, you know, both unable to escape. So, yeah, I'd say that the war's not done yet. So even though Trump's saying, you know, they're there and he's going to make an announcement today, I'm intrigued by what that is. It's saying, yeah, we're not done yet. What about Maga? You know, are they still behind him as the price of everything's going up? Yeah, they are. You know, they've got nothing but love for Trump. I think you'll get some minorities that will, you know, they're not happy with the price of stuff going up. And I mean, it's all right for Trump. He's a multi-millionaire saying, oh, you know, the price of petrol going up is worth it, you know, for this war. Well, it's easy for him to say, you know. But regarding followers and like the normal people, you know, it's going to have a financial impact on us, you know, and it could get worse the longer it goes on. You know, that the worse it can get. But actually, they're saying the Maga, they're still behind him. He's seen as the King of Hearts, kind, caring, compassionate. They love their leader. And they're saying, yeah, even though there might be a minority, that there's always a minority that go against it. You know, they're saying that, no, he's still seen as this loving leader who has their backs and he's on the right side of history. What about Trump calling the Iranian leaders deranged scumbags? Is it justified? He truly does believe that. This is the card of faith. So Yeah, so in his mind, oh, he's totally right. You know, they are deranged scumbags. There's no doubt about that in his mind, you know, because it's the card of faith, commitment. He's very committed to the idea of this and, you know, the war. He wants it finished. He's committed. There's no compromise. But it can symbolise a crisis of faith before a huge milestone. So I think what I would say is he thinks they're scumbags, deranged scumbags, and he's justified in the fact that he's fully committed to that idea. But what I would say is that this is the card of failing as well. It can be, and it might be that his ideology, his idea of what they are, may have impeded some of his decisions. So what I would say is he feels justified saying that they're deranged scumbags. And let's get it right, I'm not going to argue with him. I don't see Iranian leaders as good people. They are radicalised and they do hate the West. Hey, I'm part of the West. So if you hate me, I hate you, quite basically. So he's justified in the fact that he does truly believe they are deranged scumbags. But this card is also a warning of, you know, your ideology. Be careful that you don't fall with this ideology. So, but it's a card of faith. And I'd say that at first with the war, he thought, yeah, in and out, 7 days. Obviously, we're into the second week, aren't we? I've lost count of the days. And I think, you know, as it keeps going on, I think his, you know, he might start to lose a bit of faith a bit. But it's saying it's justified in his head because that's his faith. That's what he believes they are. So is it justified on a greater scale? Well, that's for who. It's like all wars, isn't it? If you're West and they want to hate you, then yeah, he's justified. Whereas Iranian people will say, hang on, not all of us are deranged scumbags, and we think our leaders are, you know, have a good point. So it's always that. So when we're looking at Trump, is Trump justified? Well, yeah, he is, because that is his belief. What about how he uses social media? Because you know, is he right to use social media the way he does? You know, is it transparency or is it saturation? Because I've never known a leader to use social media the way that Trump does. And obviously, we can't judge him on past leaders before social media took off. We don't know if they'd have used the platform the way he does. But currently, I don't know another leader like Trump who uses social media the way he does. But this is the card of reflection. So it could be that some people are actually sitting there with him going, oh, you know, deranged scumbags. Is this the terminology that you should be using as a leader? You know, is there a way to put this better? I mean, he said that Keir Starmer's no Winston Churchill. Well, is he no Abraham Lincoln? Would Lincoln have been so coarse in his language? Who knows? But it's a card to say, no, be brave, stand your ground, you know, and move on like the warrior you are. So it's saying that he definitely sees himself at war with social media. He sees himself as a warrior. And even though it's a card of hope as well. So it is saying that he does see social media as a valuable platform, and he does see himself, he's in two wars at the moment. He's at war with Iran and he's at war with social media, press, etc. He's very suspicious, isn't he, of it? And I think he almost, because it's the hope card, he set up his social media platform like the truth for hope. You know, he wants his followers to have instant access to the truth because he doesn't trust the media. Now, what I would say is when you set up a platform calling yourself truth, you're literally saying to your followers, aren't you, that the truth lies here, and, you know, and they won't question it. And obviously that gives you room to manipulate the truth then, doesn't it? Because you've sort of set yourself up as a truth oracle. But is it transparency or saturation of social media with Trump? Is he right to use it? I'd say he's right, because this is a hope card, you know, and where there's hope, you know, you have to say he's right to want to use the platform. I would say there's a bit of saturation there. And, you know, this can be the card of loss and all. And I'd like to think that is he sitting there thinking, oh, am I sometimes over the top with it? I don't know with Trump. He does seem to have an ego. But what I would say is, asking, is he right to use social media? Well, this is suggesting yes. And he does. I mean, part of him, I think, does it because he sees it as a business opportunity, because he always sees business in everything. But this is a love card as well. So I think he does have a high energy for his followers. He does have some kind of love. I don't know what it is though, it's weird, but I'd say he loves being on social media, that's for certain, and he loves using it to get his point across. So yeah, I mean, he's saying, yeah, he's right to use it in the way that he wants to use it. What about the supreme leader? Is he dead? I mean, this is saying no, but we haven't seen him, have we? Like, there was that bizarre, was it yesterday, that there was a flag and his picture was there, and then someone was literally reading off a cue card his first speech. I mean, where is he? His father's died, he's took over, he's the head of this war. Where is he? Trump's everywhere, isn't he? Speak in front of anything. Where's he gone? Like, this is a card of exploitation. So like, my question is he still alive? I don't know, but he's definitely being exploited. He's in hiding, that's for certain. And there's definitely an exploitation feel here to this card. So, but it's also, there is happiness in this card. So I think he's happy he's hiding, because Trump said if they don't agree with the current leader, then they're gonna off him, quite basically. And this is the sort of role nobody wants. It's like the England manager, it's a poison chalice. You've lost before you started. So I'd say he's still alive because he's being exploited, but then you could say that he's died and they're exploiting his name at the moment, just saying, oh yeah, it's fine, because obviously the worst thing they could do is admit that another one of them have died. Like, the dad's just died, he's been in the job for a couple of days and he's died. It doesn't look good, does it? It's like the war has been won if your leaders keep dying. So I would say it's the card of exploitation, but it's also the card of happy occasions. So if I'm asking the cards, is he still alive? Then that's like, yes, he's still alive, but he's being exploited. And until we see him himself, and even then we're all so suspicious, aren't we? We live in a suspicious age now. Until we see him talking, we're going to believe that, where is he? He's in hiding, isn't he? So this isn't how a supreme leader should act. So there's definitely a card of exploitation here, but it's not a card of death. So I would say he has been wounded. I mean, they said the bizarre thing the other day. He has been wounded. And they said, oh, not in this war, in another one. There's loads of rumours about it. It's like, what war? There's only this one. He has been wounded. The question is he dead? So I'd say he must still be alive because he's being exploited, or is his name being exploited? I'm not really clear there, but I'm not getting the idea of death here. I'm just getting the idea of exploitation. What about the special relationship between the US and UK? Is it over, that fractured because of the inaction by Starmer? Trump, it's sort of given the idea that it's fractured. Well, you can see it's the card of friendship, isn't it? I think when you've got a bond like we supposedly have, the US and the UK, it can't be fractured really, can it? And it's the card of friendship. So no, this won't have a lasting effect. I think what it is, it's like, you've been friends for 40 years, you've had one argument, and it's tainted. Yes, it's definitely tainted. And it does symbolise a milestone in a relationship, So, and this is a painful one, it's saying, oh, something changed here, but the friendship is still there. So it's saying it's not over, it can be mended, but it has changed direction slightly. So I think that Trump in future will see Starmer as someone he can't trust the way he thought he could. But let's get it right. It's a two-way relationship here. So Trump didn't tell Starmer what he was doing. He just went ahead and did it. So, it's tit for tat here. You didn't tell me what you were doing. Why should I act blindly immediately? If it was Tony Blair, he'd be straight in. Oh, he'd go to Iran and bomb for the US. He was their bitch. Let's make it clear. He would do anything for them. He was a lapdog. But But yeah, it's saying the friendship is still there, but the inaction of Starmer, who I do think is a wet blanket, by the way, the inaction of Starmer has fractured it slightly, but it's not going, it can be mended. What about, is the war a distraction from the Epstein files? You know, because that's not going away, I don't think. All them celebs and, you know, all these politicians and all that think they've got away with it, it's not going anywhere, is it? That is staying put, quite basically. Now, is the war a distraction from it? I wouldn't say it's necessarily a distraction, but it's a happy one, isn't it? Because every time I read the cards, it's saying that, you know, this war is justified. So it's not as if he's just decided, yeah, let's just go in and invade, take our mind of Epstein. You know, it is a justified war. But it's definitely a welcome distraction from Epstein. But that will be back. This card represents the dark night of the soul. It's so dark what went on there, and it's negative thoughts that follow you around like shadows. So it's so dark, it really is. So what I would say is it's a lovely distraction from the war, Epstein, but I don't think the war was caused to, you know, make a distraction from Epstein. But it's definitely a welcome one, because it's a card of pausing, breathing. So everyone that's involved in it, and it's all going to come to light eventually. Everyone involved, this is a card of anxiety, etc. Yeah, and mental conflict. Don't worry, it's coming to get you still. But at the moment, you know, we're dropping bombs. But trust me, once the bombs are dropped and the dust has settled, you're back. You know, Epstein is straight back to the forefront again. He should be, because it's disgusting. The whole thing, the more you read about it, the more you shudder. So yeah, at the moment the war's a distraction, but trust me, they're coming again. You know, anyone who's involved in any way, you are not safe. You'd welcome the war, you know, because that is coming back. Don't you worry about that. According to this card, yep, it's a distraction. The war wasn't started for the distraction. Don't be silly. Of course it wasn't. But it's a great distraction from Epstein. So what's next? I mean, he said about watch out today. There's going to be, you know, some sort of news. He said, watch what happens to the deranged scumbags today. He does make me laugh. I mean, I've never known a leader like him. So, you know, what is next? What is happening today? And, you know, how much longer can it go on? You know, and I don't think it's going to affect support for Trump. I mean, look at this. You know, this is the card of action. So something is going to happen today. I don't know what it is, you know, but it's saying, you know, this is the card of action and something is definitely going to happen today. I can't wait to see what it is. But, you know, this is a dominant, determined, independent, honest person. And this is the card of action. And he totally believes in his cause. You know, he stands out from the crowd. He's travelled well, you know, and he is a person who thrives on adventure. He's a natural born leader. So something is being, something's going to happen today, because it's the card of action. And what I would say is, you know, if we're saying, you know, how will it affect support for Trump? Not at all. You'll get the minority that won't be happy. But they are saying that, you know, Trump is seen as this enigmatic leader. You know, he's going nowhere. He's justified in what he's doing. And quite basically, he has got the support of the Americans still, the American people. There'll be the odd minority who are not happy. But overall, this card is saying he is seen as a natural born leader, you know, and everyone is with him. And in terms of what's happening next, well, something's going to happen. We've got the card of action, and Trump has said, you know, watch what happens today. I mean, I don't know what else can happen. All I can say is that in war, it will run out when the weapons run out. You know, it's as simple as that. So something's going to happen. He's saying that the Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone. They're still attacking though, aren't they, with drones, and there's still a problem with all supplies. So the war's not won till everything goes back to normal. But what I'm getting here is that whatever happens, it won't affect the support for Trump. You know, he's just seen as a natural born leader. People believe in him. But yeah, it is a card of action. So something is going to happen today, but I don't know what. It's not saying what, it's just saying, yes, something's happening. It's going to happen. It's going to be swift. And he keeps saying the war is won. I don't get that vibe. We started with the devil card, I believe. You know, it's not over yet, but something big, I think, will be happening today. I mean, he doesn't make an announcement like that for anything, But I'd say there's still some fighting left to do, because like I said, that the war ends when the weapons run out. Okay, we'll leave it there then. What I'm getting from the reading is, yep, it's justified still, this war. He's still seen as this, you know, natural born leader, Trump. He's justified to call them deranged scumbags. He's right to use social media the way he does, although I think sometimes he needs to look at the words that he uses. Maga still seem to be behind him, you know, apart from when we go back to earlier in the reading. I think there are people that are worried about money, etc., but they still see him as, you know, they do have faith in him still. Supreme leader, probably still alive but being exploited. Where is he? The special relationship is not over, can be mended, but it's turned a corner, something different. I don't think he can rely on the UK, he feels like he used to. Yeah, that's about it really. It's not a distraction from Epstein, but it's a welcome distraction, but that will be coming back, and I will be doing readings on that in the future. Okay, we'll leave that there. Take care. Bye.